Hey guys, what's up? Triple J Boxing here. So we got some news, some updated news on the situation with Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence rematch. It has been activated by Spence, the rematch clause, and it was in the initial contract though. Whoever won the fight got to pick the weight, so either 147 or 154. We all know though that Spence does not want to be at 147 anymore. He wants to be at 154, and this would be the Crawford fight was his last fight that he would want to be at 147. So apparently, according to Terence Crawford's training partner and childhood friend Steven Nelson, he's a 19-0 pro from Omaha, Nebraska as well. He is a super middleweight, and he told a media that the rematch doesn't have to be at 154, and he actually tweeted that, I quote, this is exactly what he said, "Facts, and all the people out there here spreading false narratives. Bud is offering Errol a fight at 147. If he doesn't take it, which we're hoping he doesn't because it's a waste of time, Bud wants to do something that's never been done before and move up 3 weight classes and beat Canelo." Now, this makes big sense, and I'll tell you why I like this statement, if it is true, if this is the real Twitter account. I think it's been proven, right? Yeah, that was a response, though, that Steven Nelson was responding to, according to Boxing Twitter page. Crawford doesn't owe Spence a rematch at 154, and that's what he had to say. But, so my initial statement was, I thought Crawford would fight him at 154 because Crawford wants to prove that he's better at any weight and he's just a real competitor. But, so I would be kind of disappointed if he offered the 147 offer because, like, if you feel like you're better, why not fight him at 154? But the fact that his friend here, Steven Nelson, added on that we offered him 147 because we actually want him to decline. We're hoping he declines. That would match up with Bud's, what I feel Bud's personality is. He's a competitor. He feels like he's the best. And he's not offering Spence the 154-pound weight because, not that he's not a competitor and he doesn't want to prove that he's better at 154 as well, because I believe he would, but he believes that he dominated Spence so bad it wouldn't even matter and it's just a waste of time. And why not test yourself further in moving up and facing Canelo? Now, I want to see that fight. To be honest, when I was watching the fight with my uncle, and a lot of people out there at home are probably like, this doesn't need a rematch. When you watch that on tape, you're like, it was such a domination. It didn't need a rematch at all. Like, Spence got battered. But the only reason he should be a rematch, not because the clause, I agree that if it's you should honor the clause in the contract if you put it in there. But no, I feel like Spence was champion for so long and he dominated the welterweight division for so long that the man does deserve a rematch, in my opinion. But it's going to be a tough decision for Spence if it was in the contract that Crawford got to pick the weight. I don't know if it's going to be smart for Spence to fight at 147, because if you believe the weight was why he looked like that, why would he go back and rematch him at 147? He would have to decline to, pretty much, like, in my opinion. But the only thing is, like, I wish, if Canelo didn't exist and Charlo didn't exist, I would say I wouldn't like this move of Crawford. I would think, like, no, why not fight him at 154? Prove you're better there. Because he's saying that's why he was weak, right? But the fact that Canelo Charlo is happening and that Bud wants to challenge the winner, I would rather see that fight. I hope that Spence declines now, because I would rather see Crawford versus Canelo. Would you not rather see that than another Spence fight? And I know Spence fans will want to see him get his revenge, but why not Crawford fight the winner of Canelo Charlo, and then Spence gets a get-back fight at 154 or even 160? Because if Crawford's moving up to 168, why not Spence get a get-back fight at 154 or 160 even, and then they clash again? That would be awesome. So At first, I'm like, oh wow, that doesn't sound like Bud to like just like I thought he wanted a challenge, and I feel like it's kind of doesn't add up with his personality. I'd feel like why not beat the man at his weight at 154 because that was his excuse. But the fact that they want him to decline, they're doing it not because they're afraid of 154 Spence, but they're doing it because they want to face Canelo at 168. So I really hope Errol Spence declines and doesn't want the fight anymore. And like I said, down the line they can fight at a higher weight after Crawford faces off against Canelo or Charlo. That would be amazing if Spence came back and he got a real big win against someone at 154, or even he moved up to 160 and got a big win, and then they clashed. That'd be a huge rematch for sure. But anyway, guys, that's kind of wishful thinking, though. But I don't think it's far-fetched to see Crawford versus Charlo or Canelo anymore. That's not far-fetched. But the scenario that we see Spence fighting Canelo, or Spence fighting Crawford at like a 160 in the future, I think that might be far-fetched. Because, to be honest, guys, the wear and tear on Spence's body lately, I don't know if the weight was the only cause of that performance, to be honest. We'll find out in the future in his next fight, but yeah, we'll find out. But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this topic? Crawford offers Spence the 147-pound rematch. What do you think about that? I give him a pass just because he's doing it so he can fight Canelo. So yeah, I'm like this. This is apparently insider info by his sparring partner, Steven Nelson, 19-0 super middleweight, coming out of Omaha, Nebraska, his childhood friend. So it seems pretty reputable. I see a bunch of sites doing articles on it. So if this is true, guys, wow, we might get a super fight again coming up next year, depending on how Charlo and Canelo, who wins that fight, which either or, like Crawford versus Charlo has a lot of history. That will sell huge, especially if he beats Canelo. That'll even make it bigger. And if Canelo wins, he's a name of boxing, right? He's the cash cow, and that will sell huge too. So, and that's another undisputed fight. Not only will Canelo fight Charlo the undisputed, he's gonna fight another undisputed in Crawford. That'd be sick. Anyway, guys, boxing's heating up after this Crawford win against Spence. Canelo, hopefully that fight is good with Charlo, and we see a good fight there, and we see a good victory by somebody there, and we hopefully get another super fight. So yeah, guys, this is Triple J Boxing, and thanks for watching, guys.